We're live now. I keep accidentally tapping.
You know, one thing that I really wanted to make a point of and talk about when we talk about, like, you know, comic book movies, superhero movies in general, I think you can include X-Men movies into that. I think when you hear superhero or comic book movies, you're mostly thinking of Iron Man and Avengers stuff, you know, now.
Or Batman.
Yeah, Batman. But one thing I wanted to talk about was, have you noticed that, like, right now, this is the box office. This is how much money these movies have grossed. The number one spot's Ride Along, the Kevin Hart comedy with Ice Cube. Kevin Hart.
I'm not seeing it.
Have you heard about it? The number one is Ride Along. It's this comedy where Kevin Hart, he's a comedian. He wants to marry this.
I do. I have seen the poster for it.
Okay. Right now, that's grossed a total of $75.5 million. Number 2 is Lone Survivor. That's grossed a total of $93.9 million. Number 3 is the animated movie The Nut Job. That's grossed $40 million. Frozen is in number 4. That's grossed $347 million. But that's the most, like, that's the only one that has triple digits. Everything else, including Jack Ryan, that's only grossed a total of $30.5 million. And so I think, like, people are just infatuated with comic book movies. I think it's almost like if it's not a comic book movie, it's not good.
Yeah.
If it's not a superhero movie, I don't want to see it because it's not going to be epic. It's not going to be good. So that's something that I wanted to bring into the discussion later on. And you know, if you want to build on that.
And a part of my gripe, actually, is the online hatred of directors of all these comic book movies. Like, it's totally unreasonable. Well, not totally unreasonable. Like, people want their comic books to be good, but movies to be good. They want them to follow exactly. They want it to follow exactly like how the comics. You know, they want their comics to be exactly the same as their comic book movies.
Right. Yeah.
But my thing is, like, if you want you can't have your comic book movies like your comics. You have your comics for that. So movies are like live action what if events, you know?
Dude, you know what? I really like that. Because I think you can carry that over into the same thing as far as book to movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want people that love the books want their movies to be the exact same as the book, but
they can't be.
Do you really want that, though? In reality, do you really want that?
Well, the fanboys, and there are people online who have been seeing, and they're like, I have been a fan for like 40 years. Like, these movies should be like this.
Well, and if you've been a fan for 40 years, how many of those years have you been saying you wanted a movie?
Yeah.
You know, so at that point in time, are you ever going to get that movie that you really want? Is that type of fanboy?
Yeah.
You know, I really do consider myself a legit fan of, like, the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien and stuff. I really love his stuff.
So
I was a little disappointed in the second Hobbit movie because there was so much filler.
Yeah.
But I still recognized what they were doing, and I still liked it.
And the Toriel stuff.
Right, yeah. The love story and everything.
Her not even being in the books.
Yeah. But I understand what they were doing, and I'm okay with it.
See, I'd be excited about that.
And that's good. But like, see, now because of The Hobbit, what did the Lord of the Rings do? I mean, that book series, that trilogy, Tolkien was already on the map, but the movie trilogy gave Tolkien his own map.
Yeah.
You know, and it's their own a whole new generation of fanboys. And that's what the Hobbit's doing, is a whole new generation of
Well,
fanboys.
yeah. And this is the
which
thing.
is great.
Like some people, I mean, we can talk about. I don't know. Are we recording yet?
Kind of. We are.
We're
I'll,
live.
I'll
We're live.
save that. I'll save that conversation for when we actually talk about it.
Cool,
'cause-
you're good.
Yeah, we're live. We're not recording.
Right.
Man, I should have got like a bottle of Dr. Pepper to refill.
I think I have one in the fridge.
Oh, you
Can.
do?
Yeah, if you want it.
Okay, when I run out. But yeah, but then my sister, she made this really good point. How, yeah, but I haven't read the comics. I've been a fan of the X-Men movies since since the first X-Men movie came out.
Yeah.
Like that is the X-Men for me. That is the X-Men universe.
That
I don't
she knows.
know anything else, you know?
Right.
And she was like, and who the hell did these people, these other, you know, fanboys? And I use the word fanboys with kind of like a contempt, knowing that I am kind of like, I'm not a fanboy, but I'm a comic snob.
Well, what is it? Because that's just it. Like, you have people that are fans of the comics, then you have people that are fans of the cartoon, you have people that are fans of the movies, and the comic book fans or the literature fans of like Tolkien
Yeah.
claim to be the true fans and not these movie fakes, you know, not these
Yeah.
the fans of the movies. Because if you're a fan of the movie, you're stupid. You don't know anything. You
Yeah.
don't have a true love for the story, you know, because you're in love. This is your idea of what Lord of the Rings is. This is
Yeah.
your idea of X-Men.
And I get like, I mean, it does drive me crazy when you get like, I'm burping.
That's
When
why
you
we
get
got the
these-
breather blocker.
When you get these people who they come online, they're like commenting on like the groups, and they're like saying, "No, Wolverine never did that. Wolverine never did that. He's like badass, you know, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
he did this because it was in the movie," and like that kind of riles me up when they take when people use the movie versions in arguments.
Sure.
Because like I've been a fan since I was 7 years old.
A little tyke.
So that's 30 years.
Yeah.
I've been an X-Men fan for 30 years. And yeah. So people who use arguments against me from the movies, I'm just like, you know what? I love the movies, don't get me wrong, but
They're fun when I don't want to read.
you can't come to a proper discussion unless you have all the knowledge.
Right.
See, I'm not a fanboy, but I'm a snob. That's the thing.
See, and I think that's what's an interesting thing to do is try to find that line
Yeah.
where you're like you said, like you love the movies for what they are, but you've been
Yeah.
a fan of the origin for
And
30 years.
And I don't want to alienate people either. That's the thing. I don't like alienate people who are fans of one or the other.
Right. And that's what's hard. That is what's so hard, because I think for me, I have a tendency to be like, and I don't try to come off this way, but it's like what I say is gospel. You know, like what I say is definitive. It's concrete. That's the way
So
it
you
is,
always
and it's
tell
like-
me.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, there's one thing that bugs me is the Wolverine movies about how they're done and how they're portrayed. And I think you can make a legit good PG-13 Wolverine movie. It doesn't have to be R. It would be nice if it was, because you could go berserker or rager. But it's like,
Well,
but that's what's frustrating for me, is because like I'm gonna rip on that movie because it bothers me the way it's made, but I don't want to alienate people, and that's what I don't want to be a troll. You know, I'm not doing a podcast because I want to be a troll.
Well, there's a difference. Trolls are trolls in real life as well. You know,
That's a good point, dude.
these horrible people, they do actually like. People think that like trolls, they go online just to rile people up, and they do, but they also do that in their own lives. You know, they do
Drama.
this to the people that they know. They do this to their family members, and their family members probably think, want to smack them. But yeah, you can have your views, and you can state your views without being a.
Hey, push the
Not
bottom
bad.
left button on your keypad, will ya?
Not do anything?
Do it again one more time. And then, hold on a second, Lauren. Go ahead and push the bottom left on yours. It's working. Mama. You want to focus, though.
Do I need to come in? Be like right here.
Can we turn that off? That's kind of distracting.
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
You want to watch Pawn Stars instead of do the podcast?
No, I don't.
Here's the thing, like, so Pawn Stars is on at work. It's on all the time because where I work, I have, just about 50 TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Some are playing Sports Center, some are playing DIY Network or
You're
HD.
TV sales then.
I'm not sales. I'm in the warehouse, but I work
Okay.
with them. And other ones will have the History Channel on. And so Pawn Stars is on like all day long, most days. And it's interesting because I'm never at home. When I'm at home watching TV, I'm never like, yeah, Pawn Stars. But when I'm at work, I'm like, yeah, Pawn Stars. I'll watch this. And I just, it's weird. I'll walk by and they'll be like, here's a 17th century rifle that's in mint condition, has like next to no rust on it, and it has the original brass plating and engravings on it. And it's like, whoa, how much is that worth? Like, I want to see this, and I'll wait the 20 minutes to sit there. I'll just sit there for 20 minutes watching it.
See, it's shameful, but like, there's only one show that I've ever really watched with Amy, and it used to be on like Sunday nights, and it was like Jersey Licious, about the Jersey hair.
The hair shop, right? The salon.
It's horrible, It's a horrible. Why do we subject ourselves to it? But that's the only one I can do. Like, I can't do like all these other that Amy had. But when we used to have cable, before they had the stuff in the condos where they took it all out.
It's jerks.
Yeah, but that was mainly our whatever his name is. But yeah, I can't sit and watch them for too long. And they've devolved so much. Like now you've got John and Kate +8. It's like Kate +8 and then John on the side or something. I don't know if he's got his own show and his own girlfriend. But I saw this headline like John caught, like, I don't know if I can say this on. We're not recording, are we? Or who would be listening right now?
I don't know. I actually can't tell who's listening.
It doesn't say?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say how many?
Mm-mm. Not anymore.
I don't want to talk. Oh, anyway, he's caught on camera doing something that he shouldn't be caught on camera doing, and
Nice.
and his girlfriend catches him also. And I'm like, how did reality television devolve so low, where a man who's been on TV for quite some years through whatever reality TV show would allow himself. He knows there's a camera in his bedroom, directly on his bed. Like, is this
That's
like?
why it's there, dude.
Is it like reality TV porn now? Like he's caught on his own,
I think
groaning under the camera, under the covers. This is like crazy.
I didn't even know that they were still airing stuff. I thought that they were
I didn't
done.
either until I saw this thing.
Is it like a Where Are They Now?
No, it's like it's set in the same format. And I just like saw that the clip because I was just like, what on earth? And then it goes into the whole reality TV drama where they have to discuss it after and the event.
I find it interesting, like with reality TV because you can only handle so much of it. Like I love Duck Dynasty, and I haven't watched like the newest season of Duck Dynasty, but like I would binge watch that show, and now it's just like
Yeah, it's true.
and now you see that it's on, and it's like, oh, it's just like Pawn Stars, where you're like, oh, look, Pawn Stars is on. It's like, okay, well, if I can't find anything else, that's my next. I'll go to that. You know, and that's kind of where
I've already gotten to that point too.
with Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think where reality TV shows like using real people, it's based on real people. There's not technically like a storyline script, but producers do get in there and they do say you need to say this, you need to act like that and stuff. So it is kind of scripted, and so there's that. You do get kind of tired of it, you know. And I think with John and Kate, that John and Kate +8 or Kate +8, man, I can't believe that's still on, especially because
But what are his children gonna say when they
Yeah.
see this? You know, their father live on television.
yeah. Well,
But here's the thing about I couldn't binge watch a reality show. Reality television is the kind of show where you kind of like unwind from the day, and at the end of the day, you turn the TV on, and a reality show just happens to be on, and so you just sit there and you watch it.
right.
Not because I've gone in search of it, but because it's on and you don't want to do anything, you don't want to think about anything. Whereas others, like scripted shows, I will go and I'll try and make the time to,
Because you're
watch it.
invested in it.
and then I'll binge watch like several episodes. Like right now, me and Amy are watching like Being Human, like the American one.
How's that working out for you?
It's not bad, but like we're like 4 episodes in,
Okay.
and I've already watched the English version, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know how I feel about these characters, these like interlopers.
Yeah,
Like,
because you're comparing them. Yeah.
because I love the original characters, like, and the original. Have you watched the show at all?
I've watched some of the original one. I caught it on BBC America.
Yeah. So Sally, do you remember Sally?
Yeah.
I don't think you can replace her.
Right.
She's like Moss on IT Crowd. There is no other person who can do that.
It's the same as Jenna though, from IT Crowd.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody else that could be her.
Yeah, I don't know, and even Roy, but like the same can be said for like Being Human. I can't not compare them and think.
What's the name of the vampire?
I can't remember what the name of the English name was.
The American one?
Aiden.
Aiden. I like that guy though.
He's okay.
The guy, I like him as an
It's
actor.
in the English show. It's the guy who's in the Lord of the Rings movies. He's one of the dwarves now.
Right.
Keely, the
Keely.
one who's in the romance with her.
Yeah. The only hot dwarf, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Kat saw him, she was like, "Oh, hey, who's that?"
Yeah.
It was like the only dwarf that doesn't look like a dwarf.
And like, not that the English ghost is like less attractive at all. I mean, she's probably attractive, but like, she's not. I don't know. They've tried to beautify. They've tried to beautify the characters a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the English vampire,
He's gritty, man.
he's gritty, but and he's not necessarily like an instant like looker, you know.
Oh yeah.
Whereas this show, they've tried to take their main cast is a bit more attractive. Like the English werewolf, he's not really an attractive guy. Like he's got big ears, and he's got an odd face, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
everyone's a bit more beautiful.
I don't know why. I think it was just because the American one's more accessible that I've kind of started to watch that one.
Yeah.
And I think I'm 3 seasons into it. I saw that they have brand new episodes on Netflix right now. So I think that's season 4.
They've got 3 seasons on Netflix.
Is
right
it 3?
now.
Okay, so I watched.
So season 4 is on TV right now, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm 2 1.5 then. Have you met the werewolf's girlfriend yet? The blonde chick?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know it's her. Well, they haven't gotten together yet, which I assume they do by the end of the series. Because the English version, there's only 6 episodes in each season.
Perfect.
So that's like, and you've got double that. You haven't got a full American season, but you've got 13 episodes.
Yeah. I think they still do a good job.
Well, I think there was only 6 episodes in the original season.
That makes sense. Do you know why? Do you know why that's the
remember it all.
case?
No,
Just why? Is it just
I don't know. I can't remember if it is 6 episodes now.
because you look at the British Office compared to the American Office, and it's like the American Office has.
Yeah.
I'm ready finally. You right? We're good.
Charlie, will you edit
What's
that?
Your arguments are invalid from here on out based on that sentence alone.
So let's go with let's start talking about Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell?
Dude, let it go.
It would smell like an edition of People magazine.
No like self-loathing backstories.
Okay,
Well, unless they
self-loathing
have a
backstories.
comical ending.
Somewhere in there, there's a high five. I don't know.
We're not a garage band, dude. We're a garage podcast.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you did. You know why? Because it sucked.
About to get real up in here.
That's not the line.
You were discredited right now.
I know.
But still edit this part out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Hey, Let's Talk About This. On this episode, we'll be discussing the potential of a 6-film King Arthur movie. We'll be discussing the hype around comic book movies and superhero movies and what they're doing to the movie industry. We'll also be featuring some awesome tech and some great Are You Freaking Kidding Me news that you're definitely going to stay around for. So let's go ahead and meet the voices that will be ringing in your ears. Up first, he never spells you are as your. It's Lauren.
You are correct.
Nice. Oh, his dream car is an 18-passenger Ford Econoline convertible van. It's Charlie.
With an extra big engine to pull lots of stuff. Take all those kids, and a bathroom.
Ooh, yes.
And a bathroom.
And I am John, and I will be your audio attendant for the show. Again, we want to welcome you to the show and invite you to participate along with us. If you would like to participate in the conversation, feel free to do so. You can hit us up on Facebook, comment there at Hey, Let's Talk About This podcast. On Facebook, you can email the show at jdddshow@gmail.com. And if you're checking out the live cast, we'll be posting the phone number up on the screen if you're checking us out on Ustream. For those that are checking out the podcast and still want to text the show, you can feel free to text us at 1-530-454-5828. Again, it is 1-530-454-5828. At this point in time, we want to give a huge shout out to Charlie and give him some mad props right now. We've completely updated the way we do the show. We have, for those that are checking out the podcast, would like to check out the live show. We have a full set of cameras, so you can see who's talking. We're able to post the links that we're looking at. You can check those out. You'll be able to leave up the text line the whole entire time. In fact, when we shift cameras, so when Charlie starts talking and the camera shifts to him, he's able to now put up his name so you can recognize him and know who's talking.
Just like that.
That's kind of wonderful.
That is brilliant. That is fantastic.
Don't need to put this down.
Also, if you want to, if you're not able to check out the live cast, and also you don't want to download the podcast, you can also find us on YouTube now. Right? Where
Wow.
we'll be able to. We are starting to post the live show that is broadcasted over Ustream, and we're going to be putting it on YouTube.
Yep.
So you'll be able to see it. And I gotta say, it is the camera work is crystal clear. It's not HD, but it's
Yeah,
definitely
one day.
it's definitely better than 1988 TV. It's better than the TV you grew up with. That's just because you don't have to, adjust the tracking bars.
The tracking.
Oh man, can you remember those?
I know, man. I was talking about that with somebody the other day.
Oh my goodness.
Just how you had to adjust the tracking.
Don't miss that, do we?
Absolutely not. You know what else I don't miss is how much TVs weigh.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Even the old flat panels were a lot heavier than the new current flat panels.
Oh,
Yeah, like we just got rid of our flat panel. We only just came in. It's like we just popped into the 20th century this last year, and we got iPhones, me and my wife, and we also got our first flat screen television. And it was kind of like wonderful that like we got rid of our old flat screen television, but the flat screen television it still had the that front bit, but it had like this much space. The camera, about the size of the. That's a heavy flipping television. I could not wait to get rid of that.
All right, let's go ahead and kick the show off by checking out our Facebook page. We post a lot of stuff during the week. We'll post a lot of funny pictures and some news. We'll post links to awesome articles about video games, TV news, movie news. So let's jump into there and check out some of the stuff. Let's kick off this past week. Some what we think is good news. We consider this good news. Some information that the National Association of Theater Owners has suggested a new rule, and that's that the movie executives, the production companies, cut down time.
Sorry, I just got Nate.
Hey, that's actually.
Sorry. I just.
Have you seen those? Keanu Reeves memes. They call them like conspiracy Keanos, where it's just it's him like there's always some conspiracy written caption. So it's like, what if NATO is really the National Association of Theater Owners? I just had a Keanu conspiracy moment.
What a world it would be.
Nah, but we're always complaining about how the trailers show too much. They're too long. They basically show the movie. In fact, the last podcast we talked about, we did a review for Jack Ryan, the new Tom Clancy movie. And I think we all pretty much like that. But I remember us discussing the fact that you see the end of the film in the trailer, like the epic and all climactic bit of the movie in the trailer. And you get that a lot.
There should be a cut-off point. Like, I know they want to show like some parts about rising action, but like there needs to be like this cut-off point. Like, do not show anything beyond like the first quarter of the movie or something. I want it to be a surprise. I'm kind of torn. I want to be spoiled sometimes, but I also don't want like those important parts to be spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I like to hear about characters and stuff and what characters might appear in certain movies. But I don't want to be told what's going to happen in the end. And yeah, I think this week I go on blackout for my superhero movies this year.
Well, we got a couple people commented on this. One person asked why. Another person says, I'm not going to lie. For the right movie, I love long trailers. But the new rule being put out, which will be implemented on October 1st, is that movie trailers need to go from 2 minutes and 30 seconds to just 2 minutes. And the National Association of Theater Owners, I was really going to say says that these guidelines will evolve in response to technological innovations, marketing and advertising trends, competition in the marketplace, and consumer demands. I don't know if I quite understand that comment as to really why, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Well, yeah. On the one hand, I'm glad to see some kind of like rules being given, you know. But then I still don't know, and I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because they still have to show a certain amount. Like one thing I just learned this last week about like comic book spoilers and trailers. If they don't put out solicitations, and solicitations are like a 3 to like 6 page preview of a comic.
Yeah.
For the coming months. If they don't give a solicitation, the people who need to buy the comic stores that buy those books in and order those books in, they can't order them if they don't know how many, because they order by how many they're gonna sell, and then they have to sell back the issues that don't get bought at a lesser price. So I see the importance of like the solicitations and the trailers, but then I wish that they weren't available. It's like a necessary marketing evil, you know. And it's like if they don't give something to entice people, people aren't going to go and see those movies. But then but here's what I'd like, just to finish off that thought. I'd like to go back to that time when I was young, where I saw a trailer on TV. There was no internet. There was no 3-minute trailer or whatever, and all these different like updates every week from like the filmmakers. Like
in 2 days, or in 5 days, in 4 days, in 3 days.
Like I just want, like I remember seeing Labyrinth. You know, I remember going to see Masters of the Universe, which I loved as a child, and all these other movies, and we just saw them. There was no like, there was no.
Well, it says here also that to show a trailer for a movie, they're not allowed to show a trailer for a movie more than 5 months before its release. I'm all right with that. Yeah. I like that because I'm tired of seeing these movies a year, maybe even a year and a half in advance. I remember when J.J. Abrams' Super 8 came out. I saw that. I saw the trailer for that, like the teaser trailer.
It was like a year.
A little over a year. I think it was like, like just over a year. Year and 2 months or something.
Just like
I remember
brief,
that.
It wasn't even like a trailer. It was like the words come up or something, wasn't it? It's like Cloverfield.
You saw
like,
what
is Cloverfield? It's a similar thing. It's like what is Super 8? And
yeah. No, I totally agree, and I'm stoked about this because, you know, I love movies, and we always talk about them on the show, so I'm constantly reading about them, I'm staying up to date about them. The only other option I have is, you know, not to.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, everyone does, you know.
Me and Charlie can just hang out and find out our movie news somewhere else through you guys, or be like Dane and not ever see the movie, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Is that a mean shot at Dane because he's not here?
We'll see if he has a comeback, if he's actually listening. Or when he catches up to this podcast in a couple of weeks.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing him, buddy.
I mean, right now, like this week,
we'll just edit that part out.
Yeah, thanks.
All the arguments that there have been about like the Man of Steel sequel, you know, it doesn't come out until it doesn't come out for another 2 years. It's not even been. They're not even in like. Well, maybe they're in pre-production. But
well, yeah. That's about where they're at, though.
Nothing has been recorded or made, produced.
They're still making the costumes.
It's not. They've got 2 years. It's like 2016 that movie comes out, and already like the hype. I think the hype is more than. It's definitely the internet age of it, you know, of movie making.
Right. Well, and that's just because you want your product out there.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked. That's why I've really pondered asking the question, but not really knowing how to bring it up or discuss it on the show or even on our Facebook page so our listeners can join in. And that is, what are you more excited for? Are you excited for a Star Wars movie, or are you excited for Batman versus Superman? Because there's a lot of push and pull right now. That's what you're hearing about. I mean, anytime there's like a page number gets leaked on the internet about the Star Wars
that
script, it's
annoys
like
me as
massive news, And so the comic book movies, the superhero movies are really starting to take charge and just...
Yeah. Oh, but did you hear the thing about Quentin Tarantino though?
Oh yeah, about how he's suing because his script
got leaked,
right?
And now he's not even going to make the movie.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's not. Or what I read, he's not even going to make the movie now because the script was leaked.
Yeah, I heard. Is that true? Or is that a big joke?
I don't know. I mean, it's sound enough, and it's along the lines of him that it could be like he could make he could write another script and have elements of it in it, but maybe he won't make that exact movie now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Man, that is, I don't know. I would, man.
But then on the other hand, on the other spectrum of that, you have Bryan Singer. Is it Bryan Singer? The X-Men movies.
Uh-huh.
He's like releasing pictures. Like he's been releasing pictures for almost the last year.
Yeah. Oh, every day.
Like on Twitter and like his little pictures, little snippets.
You have the guy that's doing the Spider-Man 2, the Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 movie, and he's releasing pictures every single day.
Yeah.
Of like little clues and things like that. Like
I kind of don't like it.
absolutely not. I hate it.
It's like too much. It's like it's demystifying the movie. They're demystifying their own movie. I don't have a sense of wonder anymore.
Right, and that's what draws you to
Yeah.
a lot of the movies.
What could they be doing with this movie? Like, wow, what's it going to be? And now you have like so many of the fanboys that we're talking about. Like, I cannot believe he's doing this. I'm boycotting the movie, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't come out for 5 months. Shut the hell up. You know?
Or 2 years in the case of
Yeah.
Batman vs. Superman.
Oh.
Because the biggest news surrounding Batman vs. Superman is that they finally announced who's going to play Lex Luthor.
Yes.
And that is the actor Jesse Eisenberg. You'd know him from Zombieland, The Social Network, Now You See Me. Those are some of his more major films, and he's going to be playing Lex Luthor. And so everybody expected them to. I mean, at one point, Bryan Cranston, the man from Breaking Bad, was
more
was gonna
Heisenberg,
play.
less Eisenberg for Lex Luthor.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's got like a picture of the both of them stood by each other. More
Oh, really?
Heisenberg, less Eisenberg. That cracks me up.
But you're right. See, that's just it. It's the internet. The internet is allowing this to be such a major topic. I mean, look at us. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
And then also fanboys are freaking out because you're going to have such a young Lex Luthor. And
Yeah, I mean, this.
but
is
you're
the
going to have
thing.
but then you're going to have Ben Affleck playing Batman, who's much older, and you have Superman being middle-aged or so. So it's going to be across the board here. But
Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more Ben Affleck might be a better Lex Luthor. You know?
did you see Runner Runner?
The what?
Runner Runner?
No.
It's it's him and Justin Timberlake. I haven't seen it as well. I almost watched it the other night. Kat and I were debating on whether or not to watch it, but he's kind of the bad guy. He's like the crime boss.
Is it a new thing? A new movie?
It's a new movie. It just came out.
Oh, okay.
Gemma Arterton is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And
Bring a smile to my face.
but we watched the trailer. You can preview it. We were gonna watch it on iTunes. You can preview it before you watch it. And so we were watching the preview, and it was like, dang man, he's good. Like he'd be a good bad guy.
I think.
He seemed really good in the trailer.
Do you know what? I have no problem with him as Batman.
Nope, none at all.
No, I think he's going to kill it. I think he's going to do like people aren't going to expect how much of a good job he's going to do. And because he's who he is, people are going to go in watching the movie expecting it to be really crappy in his performance, and they're going to be like jaws are going to drop just because the expectation was so low.
Right. Which I think is going to be fantastic. It's only going to help the
Yeah.
movie. And I think Jesse Eisenberg is going to do the exact same thing. You know,
You see him, I don't know.
did you see Now You See Me?
No, the thing I have is he charismatic enough?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
I've heard good things about Now You See Me, so maybe I need to see that movie to get a better idea of how he is.
So
I'm not sure about him yet because all I've seen him in is like, Zombieland and the Social Network and
yeah. Well, I was gonna ask Charlie.
Adventureland and like there
Oh
weren't
yeah,
like
Adventureland. Did you see Charlie? You saw Zombieland.
Yes.
Did you see Social Network?
Yes.
I don't think you saw Adventureland. What did you see? Now You See Me,
No,
the magician one.
I don't think so.
All right, both of you need to see that.
and that has Isla Fisher in it as well, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And I like her. I used to watch her in like Australian soaps. She used to be in Home and Away.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like years and years ago. And now she's married to Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I can imagine like Sacha Baron Cohen, because I'm not sure how old he is either. He's probably older than me, but I can imagine him watching Home and Away and like, I'm going to marry her someday. Like so many young men back then.
But then I'm going to make a bunch of distasteful movies, and she's still going to love me. Anyway, no, like, but that's just it. Most people have seen Zombieland or The Social Network or even Adventureland where he plays this socially awkward, stuttering character.
Yeah.
But if you go see Now You See Me, he's the exact opposite. In fact, he becomes kind of the ringleader of all these
Yeah.
magicians, and they really feed
Even
off
Woody
that.
Harrelson, because he's in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that he would have been like the ringleader, but never mind.
No, man,
I think we need to see that movie then.
We discussed it. We gave it. We reviewed it, and last summer it was almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
We did Summer Speculation,
Yeah.
where we speculated about these movies, and that was our sleeper film.
Mm-hmm.
That people are going to see that and not expect that, mainly
That must have
because
been
of
just
Jesse
before
Eisenberg.
I started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I heard she almost died during that movie. There's like a moment in the movie or something where she's in like some kind of tank,
Yeah.
and there's a moment where she thought she was going to die, and they kept it on camera
Really?
Oh,
for the
really?
movie. Like there's a moment where the camera
And
catches
that's the
her
take
face.
they used?
Yeah, and she started freaking out that she's in some like
Dang.
water tank.
Well, I think that Jesse's going to do good.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, they have 2 years.
And he's talented. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think many people could have done The Social Network, you know?
Right. Well, and there's one thing that's getting looked over, and that's that Jeremy Irons was casted as Alfred.
Yeah.
Which
And do you know what? Why not?
he's gonna kill it, dude. He's gonna be like, oh man, he's just he'll do just fine.
Do you know what? Everyone loves Michael Caine. I love Michael Caine. But, like, I don't really like his, like, whatchamacallit?
His Alfred.
His Alfred. He's fine.
I thought it would have been cool that they would have worked more of his backstory in with those movies, because
Well, here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care about Alfred. Like, yeah, he's like the stalwart behind the scenes guy. But apart from that, and apart from like the snide comments and whatever and nonsense like that, I don't care about Alfred. He's not like the draw for me. It's like,
yeah, who was I get it. I can see that.
you know, if I watch a Batman movie, it's for Batman antics. Do you know what movie that I would love to see? Man, they need to do a Batgirl. Batgirl would be... Now, that would be awesome.
You're gonna get it.
Because here's the thing, right? Like, growing up, I was never really a Batman fan. So the draw for Batman comics are the villains for me. The villains are far more interesting than Batman himself. So any comic I read, I was always like, I want to know more about these villains. I want to know. Batman isn't a mystery for me. Like, yeah, someone killed his parents. We know exactly what happened. Put him on this, you know. But what led all these other people to be so, like,
Evil.
so out there and weird and different? And then when he started having, like, allies, they became more interesting to me. Like, Batgirl is a far more interesting character than Batman.
Would you call that the Wolverine effect?
Yeah.
Where Wolverine, because you're always saying, when we talk about
Yep.
Wolverine, you're always talking about how his sidekicks are more interesting than him.
Batman is only as interesting as the sidekick, as the ally.
Well, man, you're gonna get it. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna get a Batgirl movie because the reality of it is the biggest thing in the film industry right now are superhero movies, and that's
Yeah.
nobody really cares about what movie's coming out. All they care about is when's the next superhero movie coming out.
And what's it going to be? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
people are, I think, like, another sleeper hit is going to be Ant-Man.
Yep.
Ant-Man. Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd, and possibly Rashida Jones. You know? Like, Rashida Jones and Paul Rudd anyway. Like, yeah, that's a plus.
Right. It is. But no, I totally agree because
Michael Douglas.
Everybody's saying Ant-Man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm part of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm like, wow, what are you doing with Ant-Man and why Ant-Man and stuff like that? And so I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with it. But I totally agree with you that it's gonna be a sleeper movie. So,
Yeah.
you know, Marvel is here to stay. The
Yeah.
success that they have had has created like a whole new chapter in the film industry, and it is exciting. But that is right now all people care about. When's the next Iron Man movie going to come out? When's the next Avengers? When's the next Captain America movie going to come out? And that's what people want to see. And
Oh, I mean, sorry, as an aside, the next Captain America movie, oh my goodness, that looks like fantastic.
okay, I'm glad you went. I was like the whole time.
The trailer for it is just like,
The whole time you were building up to that, I was like, "Oh man, I hope he's excited because
I
I'm
know,
totally
I am,
stoked,
I
dude.
am. Scarlet Witch, Falcon,
No, it's gonna
Robert
be-
Redford,
It's gonna be awesome.
Chris Evans is kind of great as like Captain America as it is, you know.
Well, I remember when the first one came out. He was like, he was almost like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to continue to be Captain America. And he was really hesitant on doing another movie.
Well, because he had the only experience he had with like the superhero stuff is like Human Torch and Push, which was
Sure.
awesome. I love Push. I was so sad they're not making any sequels to that movie. But and yeah, I think like here's the difference between Marvel and Fox, I guess.
No, and
Marvel
that's what I've been preaching,
are
man.
making pretty pleasing superhero movies.
And that's what I've been preaching is that you see the way Marvel treats their characters and gives them the movies they need and deserve, and then you see Fox the way they treat X-Men and Wolverine, and they just mishandle. And so I've been preaching that for a long time, and I'm glad somebody else sees it, that it's not just me. But
no worries, I am excited for Captain America.
yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's gonna be.
And I love that he's like settled into that character and wants to pursue that character. But right now, like, it's crazy to see the numbers in movies. You know, we were talking a little bit about this before the show, and we were talking about bringing this up. So I want to bring this up right now. Is the number one movie right now is Ride Along with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube, and it's a comedy. It's grossed $75 million. Lone Survivor is number 2, and it's grossed $93 million. The animated movie The Nut Jobs grossed $40 million. Frozen has grossed $347.9 million, and that is the only one. It's been out for 10 weeks. The top 10 ranking at this point in time ranges from 1 week to 10, with Frozen being open for 10. So there's a reason that's grossed triple digits.
Yeah.
But it's the only one that's grossed triple digits. In fact,
And it's Disney, and it's a pretty good. I mean,
right.
as like animated movies go, and Disney movies even, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Then you have movies like I, Frankenstein, which how that got made, I have no idea.
Is that
And-
out?
It's out. It's been out for a week, and it's
Oh,
grossed.
and
It's
it's-
grossed $8.5 million.
So it's not doing. Is
No,
it doing
man.
as well as they expected?
That's a really good question.
Like how,
I don't know how they expected
there-
that movie to
Is
fare.
there
but-
news on how much how much they made it for?
I will look into that. But my whole thing here is you look at the at Marvel movies or superhero movies, and they're pulling down 120 million a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like they're completely smoking everything else out there, just because of the movie that it is, the hype behind them. The budget was $65 million for I, Frankenstein. It's $65 million, and so far it's grossed a total of $26 million worldwide.
That's a bust in it.
And so people
So
want
far.
want the superhero movies. They want the Marvel movies. And I don't know if you want to get all psychological and be like, well, that's just because the world's in a hard place, the economy's bad and everything like that, and they want to see those type of movies. But I think people are just excited to go see them and see the epic fight between good and evil and the epic explosions and stuff like that, and the way that they're doing them. But it doesn't. It's almost like, you know, you look at Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, which I think was a great film, and it's grossed $30 million.
How long has that been out?
Just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And so it's just kind of like, you know, nobody.
It's a different beast now, isn't
It
it?
is. It really is. And these superhero movies are dominating the market right now. And I don't know. How long do you guys think this is going to last? Charlie, we haven't heard too much from you.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the conversation. Sometimes I feel like they just are too cookie cutter sometimes, and so it does make me wonder. You know, I've mentioned this before, but they do a lot of publicity before they go into the theaters, and as soon as they're in the theaters, and maybe after the first or second week, they sort of drop off, and you don't see too much, you know, hear about them. In fact, if it's kind of like a BC movie for me, I tend to forget about it altogether. Maybe I'll see it when it comes out on Redbox, but you kind of tend to forget about it because that marketing is just completely dropped off. So they seem to target every movie for those first or second week that it comes into the theater, and after that it sort of goes away. I kind of do get sick of the kind of the cookie cutter stuff, though. I like to see a little bit more originality in some of these movies.
That's why I'm excited for Ant-Man. It's going to be a superhero heist movie that is made by Edgar Wright.
Yeah, which is
So already it's
brilliant.
going to be kind of outside the box where superhero movies are concerned. So, yeah.
I think I don't want us to come off sounding like we're naysaying this. I think we're just trying to acknowledge the fact that, like, if you're not a superhero movie, don't expect to do very well right now, just because the superhero movies are dominating everything, and that's okay. I think what people need to really learn, and what we've mentioned on the show before, is that Marvel's here to stay. You're going to see DC once they establish themselves with the Justice League movie, Batman versus Superman in 2 years. You're going to see that DC is going to be here to stay. That movie, Superman's laid the foundation, and Batman versus Superman will cement that.
I mean, already they've got like, Stephen Amell, who's the Arrow. He's Green Arrow.
Right.
He's been in talks to like do possible appearances.
Has he?
So there's already like they're building like this foundation of these other characters, like a more connected universe, which makes things really interesting because in Arrow show they're building up the smaller characters. They're building them up quite considerably. Like, there's going to be a whole slew of like B-list and C-list characters showing up in Arrow.
Nice.
Like Nightwing is going to be showing up sometime soon. Black Canary is in it.
And who's Nightwing, for those that don't know?
It's the first. I think it's the first Robin, isn't it?
Right.
It's Dick. Is it Dick Grayson?
Yeah.
Can't remember. But yeah, which is interesting because that's.
Well, that's cool and that's exciting. I've heard, they're gonna pull from that world, and I've
Yeah.
heard that they haven't, and they got time to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they're at least out there. They have those characters out there, and if they want to pull from them, they can. I think you're gonna start seeing a lot more. Marvel's laid the foundation for a lot of different types of movies, intertwining movies that connect, single movies that connect into group movies and things like that. And you're seeing talks of, when I think of, hold on, let me start out with, let me lay the foundation for this conversation with this. When you think of epic movies, you go back and you think, what was an epic movie like in the early days? 10 Commandments, Ben-Hur. Like, those were epic movies in their day, right? I mean, just huge movies, and that's what you're kind of seeing, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit.
They're epics.
They're epic, right?
Like I just and as you say that, like I watched like this cartoon with the Epic movie. It's actually called Epic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like an animated movie from DreamWorks.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it and I was like, how totally random a name.
A name.
This is not epic. This movie isn't epic. I don't understand the relevance of the word here.
Charlie, did you see that movie?
Epic?
Yeah.
No.
Where the girl,
I don't think I saw that one.
the girl gets shrunk, and she there's little elf.
Oh no way!
people.
I do see that. I see
Yeah,
the
that one doesn't
I
ring
see
a
the
bell.
concept. I understand the concept. Like everything is much bigger than. I don't know
When you're that small.
when you're that small, but still that's not become the meaning of that word anymore. I don't think.
No, that's a good point.
I mean, it's not just big.
But I would say that the way that Marvel wants to intertwine the movies and,
Yeah.
phase 1, phase 2, and
See,
even
that
what
is
DC
epic
wants to
to
do
me.
with Justice League. Yeah, I was going to say that's epic. And I think you're going to see other people start using that template. And I think one of them, there's a rumor going around right now of Guy Ritchie wanting to make 6 King Arthur films. And if you're going to make 6 King Arthur films, or 6 films in general of one topic, then you're going to have to intertwine them. You're going to have to
Yeah.
make sure the continuity's
I
correct.
mean, is
and
it
works.
I have a whole ton of questions that come up in my head when that concept is raised. Like, is he just recreating his own Arthurian legend, or is he going to take from other mythologies, or is he going to stick to a certain set of books that have already been written? Because there's like
there's
there's
tons,
like a
man.
wealth of like Arthurian legend stuff.
Right. And it's almost compared to, you could almost compare it to Robin Hood,
Yeah,
where there's just so much
more than Robin Hood, I think.
where there's just so much material to pull from, and that's
Yeah.
I would like to see him do his own thing. I don't want to see it be like the 2004 Clive Owens King Arthur, but I would like to see it on a grander scale than that.
Yeah. But then he did the Sherlock movies.
Yeah.
And like, I love those. They just got to get the right people, right? But I can't imagine like,
What if Robert Downey Jr. plays King Arthur?
I can't imagine like King Arthur and like Lancelot running around, like, all right.
Just running into the forest helping
Yeah.
people?
Oh, golden. What's that? They go for the quests in Arthurian legend. Oh, the sword,
Excalibur?
Excalibur, and
Whatever. My only concern with this is like, okay, so you make the first one and it does okay. Are you going to keep making them? And let's say it comes out, the first one's awesome, the second one's really good, the third one does okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is Guy Ritchie going to get burned out on them? Like, at what point does he go, okay, I'm just going to be a producer, which means my company's going to take
Yeah.
care of this?
And 7 movies. how many years of your life is that as well? Like, that's finding the right actors, the right actor draw for the movie.
Yeah.
You're asking them to put aside this amount of time of their life. Or are they going to do it like, do you know what would be really, really cool if they're going to do it? Like, have a couple of different production companies working for the same thing, doing a couple of movies at a time.
Yeah.
And like you doing, like, focusing on different characters, having a whole movie about Lancelot and how he suddenly ends up in this place.
That's cool.
And then another whole movie about the Lady of the Lake, and
Right,
another
yeah.
movie about Merlin, and then another movie. Oh, I don't know. There's potential there, definitely.
Well, there really is, and you see that, and we talked a little bit about how much you can pull from. There's the movie Excalibur. I remember there was a cartoon of King Arthur growing up, and I remember, there's the Clive Owens King Arthur, and then there was Showtime. Not Showtime. Was it Showtime? Stars.
Wasn't it?
Stars did a series called Camelot.
Oh.
It only lasted one season.
And all the Merlin miniseries and stuff. And
Right. So I think
the second of which
it's
is kind of
there.
crappy.
Well, I think it's there, and a lot of people, I think you have the audience for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same. It's almost the same audience that the comic book fanboys. They wanted these awesome movies, and they waited and waited and waited. And I really think Guy Ritchie is a guy that could deliver an awesome King Arthur movie, if not a King Arthur franchise. But like you said, if you're gonna do it, you got to do kind of what Peter Jackson did with Lord of the Rings and just knock them out.
Yeah.
You can't like make one and then go back and make two.
Film them all together,
Yep.
or 3 at a time.
That's 3 at a time's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then release it. Release it every one every year.
Yeah.
Every December, a new King Arthur movie for 6 years.
See, that would be awesome.
When's the new Moses going to come out?
In December, actually.
Moses.
Yep.
I heard
It's called Exodus,
Exodus. That's right. It's called Exodus.
Really?
and
Actually looked pretty well done, and
Christian
it
Bell.
There's a-
is
It
in it.
looked pretty. It looked pretty good.
Noah.
What?
I mean, like-
Noah comes out. In
Oh,
March.
Noah, that's the other one.
You're
Noah.
thinking Noah.
I was thinking Noah. Not
Kristen
Moses.
Bell is in Noah.
No,
In Moses.
in Moses. It's called Exodus, and it comes out in on Christmas, I believe, in next year. And it's crazy. It's weird.
Is there a
they only,
trailer for it?
They only have one picture right now.
Okay.
If you go to IMDb and either search Christian Bell or
Mm-hmm.
Exodus, it's him, and he has short hair, and he's kind of got a little scruffy beard going. But it's interesting.
Who? Who is it?
Christian Bell. He's playing Moses.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood. I thought I was saying Kristen Bell.
Oh.
Kristen Bell is in Moses. I was like, what is going on? And then you meant Christian Bale.
Yes.
Okay.
Batman.
Batman.
Batman is going to be playing Moses.
Not Kristen Bell,
No.
although Veronica Mars.
Ooh, could you imagine the emails that we'd get on that?
Yeah.
No, but
imagine?
Charlie, you're thinking about
Moses.
Noah.
Yeah, I was thinking about Noah. Moses, where are you? I'm right here.
Exactly. I was at a family dinner, and we were discussing the Noah movie that's going to come out, and that looks pretty good. And then we were talking about Exodus, and I did a little joke of like, they're not going to you're not going to hear Christian Bale say, "Swear to me," and I made a joke about who he's going to swear to.
That's right.
My family did not think that joke was
They
very
didn't
funny.
appreciate that, did they?
They did not.
Swear to me.
Setting in, you got it.
Oh, I know that. I was just playing.
I just want him to slam his staff down and be like, swear to. Anyway, so no, I'm pretty excited about Noah. That's gonna be a good one. That looks like it's gonna be epic, but I'm on board with this King Arthur thing. I want to see more. I like this idea of having these franchise movies where it's like drawn out. We do this Hobbit type thing, this Lord of the Rings thing, where I get a new movie every year. That's exciting. That's fun.
Here's the thing. Like, not to go back to X-Men again, but with all the X-Men news this last week, like, have you seen the Quicksilver
A little bit. I haven't, not too much.
Quicksilver, they've made look like this 70s style kid with grey hair. He looks terrible. I think you can. There's a picture online of him. Can you? I don't know if you can show a picture on there, but it's on that one of those links I sent you. There's one where
What's it called? It's
Quicksilver.
Well, you brought up X-Men, and it came out that Hugh Jackman's not going to reprise this role
Yeah,
for Wolverine in
X-Men Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse.
And none of the original cast either. So this is the last movie that we'll see all those characters in.
You know, Hugh Jackman came out and said that he was kind of considering not playing Wolverine again just because of how demanding it is
Didn't he say that?
on his body. And
Didn't he say that the story would have to be stellar for him to come back to the character?
yeah, he did. He said that it was going to just have to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if what that means to him. I don't know what that's
more
referring.
dancing and singing. I don't know.
Well, here's the interesting thing.
Frolicking.
They've also
Frolicking.
they've also got a rumor that there's going to be an X-Force movie. And X-Force is like another like X-Universe comic that has and Wolverine's been a mainstay on the team for a long time. With another set of mutants, who are the more hardcore guerrilla warfare style characters.
Yeah.
So if he's not coming back for that either, then that's like all new characters or characters who are going to be featured in this movie coming up. So
You're gonna see a
first
lot of
class,
things change.
they're
but
going to be the first class characters. They're going to be the main characters going forward.
That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how people make that adjustment. You know, for people like you and people like your sister, you were mentioning that she's a huge fan of the movies. And that's who X-Men is to her, the movies.
Yeah. She doesn't care about continuity in comics. She doesn't care about if this X-Man looks a bit differently because she doesn't know that X-Man. She knows the movies.
Right.
And if a new character comes up, she takes him on that face value straight away, you know? Like, oh, this character is like this. She doesn't know that Quicksilver, who's like, I don't know if you've seen the pictures online, but there's a picture, an Empire magazine front, you know, they did the Empire covers this week.
Yes.
And he doesn't look like Quicksilver. And what will be interesting is seeing the difference between Quicksilver in this movie and the Quicksilver in the Avengers movie. Because it's going to be interesting to see the differences. And already this is a very stylized version of Quicksilver.
The one that's on the cover of Empire
The one
right
that's
now.
on the, yeah.
I can see that. Looking at it, I can see that.
And is it Evan Peters, who is
Yeah.
mainly in the American Horror Story?
Right.
And yeah, what's interesting as well is the two guys who are playing Quicksilver for both movies, they were both in Kick-Ass. They were both, the actors were both in Kick-Ass as best friends.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And they're both playing
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver for a different...
And the main
franchise.
character from Kick-Ass, he's in the Marvel. He's going to be in the Marvel movie.
He's going to be in the Avengers.
Right. And he's going to be in Godzilla too.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming out this summer, which is going to be
Along with Scarlet
reboot.
Witch,
Right.
who the girl who's playing Scarlet Witch.
That's going to be exciting. There's a lot of upcoming stuff. We're going to put together something where we're going to discuss the movies coming up this year. In fact, do stay tuned for that, for the movies that we're going to preview for coming out this summer. We'll start to put together another summer of speculation. And also, you're going to want to stay tuned for it will be our second annual Noscars.
Oscars.
That's going to be exciting.
That will be fine. I had so much fun when we did that last year. That was such a fun show. Lauren didn't experience that, but it was a lot of fun.
The hey, let's talk about this Noscars Awards. And so we'll be putting together list of best movies, best action movie, best comedy, et cetera, and
Nice.
and we'll be posting those on Facebook so you guys can vote. If you don't have Facebook and you want to check it out, email the show so we have your email address and we can send you our voting ballots so you can vote and get your vote in because unlike other award shows, we care what you think. And you go out there, you pay to see the movies. You know what movies you like and what movies you don't like, and so you have a right to vote for that. And be sure to stay tuned in that. You're going to get that you'll get that the Nosker episode coming up in March, so next month. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's go ahead.
I gotta pull that up to show that with our.
I just found something rather good.
For those of you, certain Oscars music. With a little bit of applause in there.
It'd be fun, man. Lauren's out browsing. You just
I was just
found,
looking for a picture of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver for the X-Men movie. But I found that.
That's pretty good. You should post that on our Facebook page. It's a little meme about Jesse Eisenberg being Lex Luthor and a couple other people. All right, so let's go ahead and then move on to our next segment, known as Hey, Let's Gripe About This, the segment where we get all of our complaining out within a certain period of time and get everything off our chest.
Sucks to be you. I know. Sucks to be you. I know it's true. Sucks to be you.
How's you guys' week going? You got a lot of gripes this week?
Oh, I've saved my gripes for the last 2 weeks.
That's good, man. I got to get better at it, at actually like writing it down.
I have to write them down right when I think about them. Otherwise, I don't do it.
You want to go ahead and kick it off?
All right, here's a gripe. When bathrooms are in the same location on different floors, but the men's and women's restrooms are swapped. So I don't know if you've ever. I just noticed you switched the camera. Thanks. I totally forgot. See how nice that is. But yeah. Have you ever been to like a big building where typically every floor, the men's and women's restrooms are in the same spot on every floor, right? They're all stacked. Say you go to a 10-story building, like a big store or like a high-rise or whatever.
Okay.
The bathrooms are always in the same spot, like in the lobby, right off the lobby, right?
Okay, yeah.
Men's is the same spot, women's, but some buildings actually swap them occasionally. I don't know why, but they'll swap the men's and women's. And so if you go to, if you're not really thinking about it, and you forget what floor you're on, you might accidentally go into the wrong bathroom.
Dude, I did that at the
That could be
airport.
awfully embarrassing. Exactly, like the airport maybe.
Because they're right next to each other. Like, it's weird. There's only like a foot of a wall dividing the entranceways. Like, one goes in and you break off to the left, and the other one you break off to the right.
Yeah.
And I just saw it, and I saw that it was a restroom. I walked right in, and I go in there, and I don't see that there's any standing urinals. I was like, there was like two women standing there at the sink, and I was like, I made a mistake. And I turned around and walked out. And Kat's standing there, and she's like, what are you doing? That's fast. And I was like, wrong bathroom. But no, I totally hear you. Where you go in building A, men's is on the left, but then you go in building B and men's is on the right.
Or like you go on floor 1 and men's on the right, women's on the left. You go to floor 2, it's the other way around. The women's is on the side the men's usually is.
At which point do you just say, let's do co-ed?
Hey, well, I kind of makes me wonder if they're going that route, right? Just give everybody stalls, and then you could just do co-ed. Okay, once again, school drop-off zones are my ultimate gripe of the week. I hate them. I could go on and on about them, but they suck.
School what?
School drop-off zones. You know all about those, Lauren. You know about that madness, right?
Oh.
The school drop-off zone.
Do you know what? If ever there's a reason to drop your kid off late to school on purpose.
Or 20 minutes early. Let them stand out there in the cold.
So that you don't have to deal with all the nonsense drivers getting their little kids to get to school, you know? Oh, my goodness.
It's true. It's very annoying, to say the least.
People who don't know how to use roundabouts, that's what.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
because
Hey,
it's
you can't get mad at
to
us.
drop to
We-
drop the kids
oh,
off.
Oh, okay.
There's
okay.
a roundabout involved.
Roundabouts are very new to us over here. You know, last 20 years.
This roundabout only has one entrance, one exit.
But people try to-
still get confused.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other thing. If it takes more than 60 seconds to drop off your kid, go to a different spot to drop them off. If you have to sit there and wait for your kid to walk all the way from your car, well, first of all, if it takes 5 minutes for your kid to get out of your car, you should go somewhere else. Second, if it takes your kid, if you have to watch your kid go from the car all the way to the doors of the school, you should also go to a different spot.
Or
If
go
you
earlier or late.
Or go early. If you have to exit your car so that your kid can, whatever, don't drop them off there.
Oh, see, I'm terrible at that as well. But here's the thing: I go late or I go early, but I have to let him out because we have child locks.
Do your kids go to the same school?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have to let him out, and then because if there's no one there, I'm paranoid enough that I have to watch him get to the door.
Well, I could see that.
And so because he dawdles, he'll like be skipping along, and then he'll see something. It's like, and then for some reason he's going in the wrong direction. He's not going towards the door anymore. He's going towards the other pickup drop-off point. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Where's he going?
In the door. And only once he's gone through that door can I relax. He's like, and don't run because there's ice, and then he starts running full pelt. My son
You kids, man.
is my child.
That is awesome. You guys, this is. I can see your frustration.
You don't know. You have no idea.
But I don't. You're right.
That's the worst.
I'm definitely not going to
I
venture
don't
into
know
that.
anywhere that makes me that irritated. It's like, good morning. You're gonna have a miserable day now.
Oh, see, if it's to do with taking the child to school, that is going to dictate whether I'm a bad day, is whether my car is working straight away like that
Good
early in the
point.
morning.
Good point.
That usually sets the precedent.
I could see that.
I would love to, for all the listeners that have kids that listen to the show, I would love to hear what you guys' take on this is. If you guys
Yeah.
suffer through the same thing that Lauren and Charlie suffer through, just because I don't understand. I see it, I recognize it, but I don't understand. But I would love to hear their takes on school drop-off zones, because I know that I know of a few people that listen to the show that have quite a big family. And so I'd love to hear their takes
See,
on that.
I can't wait for Riley to be old enough so I can take the child locks off. But I can't trust him not to suddenly open the door while we're driving.
Which is understandable. I remember doing that as a kid. I did that all the time,
I
which
mean,
was
I'll
like,
put him on the other side of the car. I mean, I put him on my side of the car so I can just get out, open the door, get him, say
Yeah.
straight onto the path. And I have to say that almost every morning because otherwise he's walking into cars. Yeah, into the path.
ooh, piece of
cars.
grass. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, a leaf.
Shiny lights.
No, Riley. To
Yeah.
the door. Go to the door.
Yeah.
Oh, look, gum.
Pull. Don't push.
I just see you with the window rolled down, or I even see you
Press
getting
the
out. like-
handicap button.
Charlie, you got any more?
That sounds really mean about my son. I'm not being mean. He's 5 years old.
The other one-
He's learning.
I can only
learn
imagine the
somehow.
hell I put my parents through at that age.
Okay, I picked this one up from somebody. They said that they wish they didn't care how clean my house is, or was, or is. And I made up a voice. Oh man, I wish I didn't care how clean my house was. I'm so picky about how clean it is. Now I've got to clean it.
What about you wish that you didn't care how clean other people's houses were?
There you go.
Like when you go to other people's houses. and
I
it's
know,
like-
right? I'm kidding. I know this is just your garage. I'm joking.
One day, maybe we'll have a real studio, Lauren. One day. We can hope, right?
I'm less concerned than my wife is. Let's say that. Not that I don't have like
About messes?
yeah, about how tidy your house is, your own house is.
Right.
I do have those moments where I'm like,
You know what? You know what? My major gripe is how like during the day you're just bloody tired.
Oh yeah.
Like you're just so tired, like all day long, and
It's true.
then it finally gets to be like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're like, I'm gonna go to bed, and then all of a sudden you go lay down, and your mind's like,
Nope.
Nope.
You're not sleeping.
nah, it's not 1 o'clock yet. It's not 2 o'clock. You need to be panicking
Yep.
about when you're gonna wake up in order for me to let you
Yep.
go to sleep. Instead, what I'm gonna do is remind you of all the stupid stuff you've done and all the times you've embarrassed yourself.
yeah, I wish I had that gripe. At the end of the night, I'm like,
Lauren, really?
I'm ready to go.
Dude,
I'm
like-
ready to turn off. Like
Trade me, please, dude.
10:30, it's horrible. I used to be able to stay up so much later. I used to go to bed at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and like no problem, I could do it. But those days are
man.
over. Now I have children. Like I cannot.
I get home from work and I just want to go to bed, and then about 3 hours later, it's everything I can do to go to sleep. I can't fall asleep.
You're taking melatonin. You're drinking NyQuil.
Yeah, but there comes a cutoff. Like I have until about 9 o'clock at the very very latest to take that stuff.
Right.
Especially
Yeah.
depending on the diet, on if I've already eaten or not too. After I've eaten, I'm done. There's no way. Because that stuff will hit me about 10 o'clock in the morning the
Wait,
next
you
day.
can't-
Yep.
You can't,
exactly,
like-
dude.
So wait, you can't go to sleep after.
Well,
After
I can go,
eaten?
no. So if I,
No,
I'm
no.
talking about taking like a sleep aid.
Okay.
It's
So
like
if-
melatonin or even like a Z-Quil, NyQuil type
Yeah,
thing.
or-
Something to help you fall asleep.
I can
PM or
only
something.
imagine how like if I took one of those things, I wouldn't wake up for like 2 days.
Oh man, if I try to take it, if I know I'm going to take it or need it, I try to take it the earlier the better.
Dude,
Otherwise-
Lord, I can just see that like Riley's trying to find his way to school because you never woke up, so he's just like walking all over town.
But then like if I drink, I can't drink Red Bulls though. Like if I drink a Red Bull, I'm up for like 48 hours. Like
Really?
the next two nights after I take a Red Bull, I'm like
Oh my gosh,
I can't
man.
I can't sleep.
We used to drink Charlie's. What did we call that?
What do we call that?
Red Cow. I can't remember what we called that.
Bull Rush, Chuck's
Yeah,
Juice, I don't
yeah.
know, whatever it was.
Chug juice.
Chuck juice. What's that?
I'll give you some.
Is this something horrible that I don't want to know
We'll
about?
pour it right
It's
out.
basically homemade Red Bull.
And
Really?
dude, yeah, Charlie used to make some, and we
Last
used to
year at this
just
time,
drink
What's in
man.
it?
I'll have to make some soda.
It's pretty good.
It's just like regular Red Bull. It's terrible.
But no, Charlie, I hear you about after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or something, you can't take a sleep aid.
You can't. At least you won't be able to wake up until
Yep.
like noon
I know.
at the earliest.
That happened the other night, and Kat was like, "Well, why don't you take something?" And it was like, "It's 12:30.
Yeah.
It's
Too
not going to
late.
kick in until 1:30, and then I'm going to need to wake up at noon."
Yep. That's a problem.
Let's see. We got a couple here. One that says, "Can't get a job because I don't have experience. I can't get experience because I don't have a job."
Excuses.
Let's see. The another one here that says, "Let's go somewhere else for vacation next year. I'm getting tired of Hawaii."
Oh, bloody boo-hoo.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
I can't
that's
believe
how it
These,
is.
that,
are
man.
these first world ones again? Are these first world
That's
like
that's
gripes?
really what Haylet's gripe about this is. It's
I
essentially
guess.
first world problems.
I guess it is.
Yeah, it is. That's what we're going for.
I had strep for a while, and I was taking antibiotics for it. And I put.
It was a year ago that I had strep. Remember?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
like,
that was so
I
bad.
kind of feel
How
crappy. I
do
don't know
you
if we should
get
do a show.
strep? What is like? I don't even understand what strep is.
It's a more severe sore throat, cold.
okay.
It's instead of, I think a cold's just kind of like a
I
virus.
guess
This
I've
is
never
like
had strep.
a bacterial virus or
Is
something.
it a kind of throaty thing? It sounds like it would be like a throaty
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I was starting to get it last show, so I was starting to sound a little bit like Darth Vader.
Okay.
I was getting a real deep voice, but so I popped it and I used Coke to swallow pills, and I popped the pills in my mouth. I drank some Coke, and the Coke had already started to dissolve the capsules.
Do you drink a lot of soda though? Do you like? Here's the thing, like,
No, man.
do you drink like a lot of Coke or stuff with caffeine in?
Mm-mm. In fact, I went over a year
Yep.
with no soda,
Until I tempted him.
and just last month I started drinking, and then I went off for like 2 weeks, and then one day I was just like, I feel like a Pepsi. I want a Pepsi. And for like the last week, I've been drinking it again. But yeah, so
Do you know what? Pepsi doesn't do it for me anymore. I used to love Pepsi. I used to love cherry Pepsi.
do you need?
I guess I still would love cherry Pepsi. Wild cherry Pepsi is like awesome.
As we all sit here with our
Charlie, do you got any more gripes?
big gulps. That's all I got for this week.
Lauren, how about you?
I did have one, but like it's like I think we've already talked a bit about like we talked enough about comics and stuff. So it's mainly a gripe about like fanboys on like the. Okay, so I will go into it because it is a gripe. Okay, so with all the nonsense and craziness going on with all like these movies like X-Men, people like the last couple of weeks on my feeds on Facebook. It's all this nonsense hate to like Bryan Singer, who's making the newest X-Men movie, about how he's ruined their life because like he's doing crazy things with these characters that are just out of character and like look differently, and you can't mess around with the X-Men like this. But I'm like, boo-hoo. He's already played around with characters for like 2 other movies, right? And he's just making in essence, he's making his X-Men, which he's a filmmaker. He can do what he wants now. And he's been put in a position where he can do what he wants. But I don't want, like, countless, I don't want countless complaints and, like, complaining about it on my feed. It gets old. I just,
No, I hear you. Trolls.
you know.
Maybe not like full on trolls, but just naysayers.
Yeah, but some of these people are really serious about like, oh, my life is over. He's done this to Wolverine. This shouldn't happen. To show the hands as well.
There you go.
I'm just done with like people complaining about something and trying to put together all these like they're putting together like, what do they call it when you put together and you sign your name to make someone to get someone off a
Contract?
movie or something? No, they're putting a petition.
Oh, petition,
There
yeah.
are online petitions
Did you hear that they...
to stop these movies coming out or something. This isn't
Wait.
going to work.
What?
Like
I didn't
X-Men
hear about
fans,
that,
oh no,
really.
yeah, there's like sign this petition to show your anger at Bryan Singer on this movie. This is pointless. Nothing is going to change him being on these movies now. He's already signed on for another movie after this. He's not going anywhere soon. He's going to be on the X-Men for another couple of years.
Yeah.
So deal with it, embrace it or not, but don't complain. I'll complain.
I like that.
I'll complain right here.
But you're
gripe.
complaining
I'll
about
gripe
the complainers.
Yeah, I'll gripe about the complainers. Shut it. Shut it.
I think that's fair. I think that's good. And I mean, we've had several conversations about this similar topic and things, and it's
Yeah.
going to keep coming up because it's constant.
Trolls.
Because of trolls, I know. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just sad because they're going to make a movie for everybody. They're going to try to make a movie for everybody that everybody can enjoy. And so, like you said,
Yeah.
either hate it and just be quiet about it, or get on the wagon and just be happy about it.
The movie world is bigger than just the comic fans now.
Right. All right, there you go. There's this week's gripes. If you have a gripe, be sure to hit us up on Facebook and send your gripe there. We'll be sure to feature it on the show, or you can even text it in at 1-530-454-5828. We'd love to hear from you. I think that's and hear what your gripes are. Up next, we have some tech talk. Keep coming up because
Are you freaking kidding me? That's crazy.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You're freaking kidding me, even.
The management is proud to bring you.
I'm sorry.
I was expecting like.
I got him out of order. How about that?
Talk. Tech. Talk.
All right, on this episode of Are You Freaking Kidding Me? Tech Talk.
It's an amalgamation tonight.
That's right. We have some awesome tech that has been a long time coming, for one. And two, I think this is awesome. And Charlie, you've interacted with this. You've used this
I have.
and checked it out. Why don't you go ahead and introduce the product that we're going to talk about tonight?
It's basically a gun safe. It's not your typical looking gun safe. It's definitely a lot nicer, sleeker looking.
Do you own it?
I don't. I'd like to. I went to the gun show a couple weeks ago, and they had one of these there, and guy was selling them, and they had a couple different models. But the cool thing about these is that it's a fingerprint scanner.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have, I think, up to 50 fingerprints or something like that sorted into this thing. Or like 50 versions of your same fingerprint, you know, if you want to. It's probably safe to have a couple of your fingers in there as a backup in case you needed it. But when we were at the show, the guy showed it to us and used my little girl's fingerprint to learn into this this thing to try it out.
Cool, man.
She thought that was pretty cool. But the cool thing is it's nice looking. It uses your fingerprint scanner. And now it also has a RFID chip. So if your phone is equipped with some kind of technology, if it has like RFID, or I think it actually comes with like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 RFID tags that you could use instead. So let's say you stick it in your wallet and you use a wallet to swipe next to this thing and it pops open.
Fantastic.
It opens real nice. The one thing I liked about it when I saw it is it has these here, I'll show a picture of them here. They're some kind of actuator or what are those things called? So kind of a strut, these air whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Shocks.
Yeah.
So it opens up real smooth, sort of like a back door, like on a hatchback or something, you know. So it opens up real nice and smooth. It's real nice looking.
Right by your pillow.
Has a Kensington lock on it. Has LED lights in there.
Well, it's very modern, too.
Yeah, very modern looking.
So if you have it on your nightstand, it's not going to look out of place. It's not big and
Does it
bulky.
have like an alarm clock on it? On the front.
I don't think it does, but it does have a GPS built in on one of the models. So if somebody happened to swipe it, it'll have an alarm go off. Also, I think it also has like a motion detector, like a tilt alarm. So if somebody picked up and grabbed it and ran off with it, it would have an alarm go off. But it also has GPS, so you could locate it again.
There's
That's
3
cool.
different models, and they start at $250, which in my opinion is $250 well spent for what this is capable of. In fact, if say your kid tries to open it or somebody steals it, you have the GPS, but if you don't know that somebody stole it, as soon as they try to rip it open or pry it open with a crowbar or a file or something like that, it automatically alerts you. It sends a notification to your phone and makes you aware that somebody's trying to
So someone can open it with a crowbar or something?
No, not that they at least discussed or have shown, not in anything that I've read about. But they haven't said that it's unopenable.
It needs
But
to
other
squirt
than-
acid or something, doesn't it?
Just self-destructs. The cool thing about the gun box, though, is that it was an Indigo campaign, and Indigo is a lot like Kickstarter. We featured a lot of Kickstarter on the show, where you can go and donate to a cause or to a project, and most of them are very successful. And this is one of those examples. It raised almost $140,000 in order to make this product available to the public, and so stuff like this is cool, man. I love the segment Tech Talk because we're always featuring cool and new, innovative tech. Stuff that is almost out of the movies. Very futuristic, very
Yeah.
sci-fi. And that's why every week when we find the new products to feature, it's so cool because something like this, you just think, like, how cool would it be to have a gun safe that would just scan my fingerprints? Well, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And the strength and durability of this thing, like, you can't smash it.
That's cool.
I didn't see any tests of them driving a vehicle over it, but, like, you know, it's very high-grade metal.
Well, that's what it had.
That they made it
It had
out of.
USB plugs, so you could plug your phone into it and charge. So you could have it plugged into the wall, and then it has 2 USB plugs on it, so you can plug your phones into it and keep them charged.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
Multifunctional.
Yeah.
You know, and Lauren, you brought it. You asked the question, does it have an alarm clock? I'm gonna bet the second generation is gonna have an alarm clock, because the idea is that this is on your nightstand. This is right on your nightstand, so you can reach over and touch it, and it opens up, and you can get your gun out as fast as possible. And so I would say the second generation is definitely going to have an alarm clock in it, which I think that's fantastic.
Makes me want a gun, but it's not the only thing. Not the only thing that makes me want a gun.
Is the cool gun box?
Yeah. I'd like a gun and a cool gun box.
Charlie, do you have any other tech news?
That's about it for now. Justin Bieber got rearrested. I was gonna say something about him earlier. Oh, the petition. How they
Yeah, that's right.
they had the petition that was signed, and it had over 100,000 signatures. So the White House is now obligated to
Consider it?
consider or at least respond to it. And I'm
Having
sure
him removed from America.
have him banished from America.
And sent back to Canada.
Sent back to Canada.
Which is funny because I've seen thousands of memes, like, not thousands, but a bunch of memes just saying, like, you know, boarding up Canada, saying that they don't want him
They
back.
don't want him back.
Well, here's a thing as well to go along with that. Just today, wasn't he caught in a quite precarious position with a stripper in a picture form on Twitter?
Oh,
Yeah, like, this is like, he's really not being smart
He's
in
being
his, like,
see, and how did you find out about that? Through tech,
through tech.
through the interweb.
yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me, Tech Talk?
Yeah, seriously, right? Hey, if you
Do you
guys
know
have,
what? Hey, are you freaking kidding me? This is the funny thing, right? I just read another thing. It was like a link from an article I was reading. Miley Cyrus, she has some advice for Justin Bieber that she posted.
oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like, pay someone to stop you from doing stupid stuff.
She was on Jay Leno, and she told that to Jay that Justin has enough
right.
money, he could just pay somebody to stop him from doing stupid stuff.
Does she?
Remember, she
It's
take a dose of her own medicine.
Yeah. Although with her, I think it's kind of more carefully crafted nonsense, you know?
Yeah. Pay people to make sure you don't get in trouble.
All her nonsense is all, I think it's marketed. It's a form of marketing for her.
Yeah, I think so.
There's nothing carefree about it, you know? Where Justin Bieber, it seems like this downward spiral of, like, you have too much money and no one to rein you in.
Yeah.
But with Miley Cyrus, it's like, someone is marketing you so bad right now, and I'm not sure if this is you or not, or someone
your dad
who's
or
paying for all this, but, like, yeah.
somebody is.
Someone's getting a lot of money from her nonsense.
All right. Hey, if you guys have any cool tech that you'd love to hear featured on the show, be sure to send it to us. We would definitely love to feature it. As we've mentioned before, we love to feature new and exciting tech. So that is this week's Tech Talk. Up next, we have some Are You Freaking Kidding Me news.
Now I just put the outro.
Are you freaking kidding me? That's crazy.
Are you freaking kidding me?
The management is proud to bring you this week's episode of Are You Freaking Kidding Me?
Makes you say, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Are you freaking kidding me?
You guys talk a lot about your kids, and they've been gripes. They've been shared in gripes, such as the drop-off point.
I never have any gripes about my kids.
You've shared experiences with them about them,
Yes. Uh-huh.
and do you have pictures of them?
I do.
Do you have baby pictures of them?
Yes.
Would you wish to have a 3D baby replica of them?
Heck yeah. Why not?
So this is becoming a big thing, is a 3D printed replica of your, unborn baby.
Oh my goodness. That is horrible.
I did see this. It looks a little bit creepy. I don't know.
It's a replica of the baby, like right before it's born.
I'm expecting it to suddenly open its eyes and like spit at me or something.
Get up and crawl or walk towards you. 3D Babies will print. This is the name of the company. 3D Babies will print a replica of your unborn baby using a 3D ultrasound from a doctor's visit. You can get them in different sizes. $200 mini version, a $400 half size, or a $600 full size 8-inch version of your unborn baby right before it's born. It looks like it even comes in this little box that you can.
It almost seems like a coffin. I'll just say it. It's kind of sad.
And it's smiling. Why is it smiling?
Because that's how the baby was.
But
When it
fetuses don't smile, do they? I
It
thought
got a
They-
picture taken,
they-
man. It just knew that it was getting the pictures taken. You know, what do you think Sears Portrait's going to do about this?
I mean, there's a part of me that wanted to like get like a 3D ultrasound, like so we could see the baby. I don't know, but like
A baby.
bye-bye.
A dingo eat your baby.
I did say that this is something that is going on, but I don't see this catching on. I don't see this really becoming a big thing,
Yeah,
dude.
not really.
Where it's like, hey, here's our baby before it was born. Like, nah, man. I don't think when people created 3D printing, this is what they thought that they should do with it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Can you imagine with all these people with too much money, then they know what to do with though? Like, they're at their little party and like, oh, look at this, my baby. He's like just born. He just came out, and here he is. And then another one's like, oh, Mitzi here, and we got a picture of him, but like 4 months before he was born.
That's funny.
Some of this stuff, man, you really like, you just look at it and you go, what? Are you freaking kidding me? That's what you're going to be making, dude? Like,
What's next?
yeah. Well, and we featured tons of 3D printed stuff on the show. We've featured 3D printed furniture, action figures,
Kidney stones.
houses. We featured houses that were printed piece by piece with a
Wow.
3D printer.
My friend has a 3D printer, and he's been doing like little like Death Stars and stuff, and like Star Wars.
Really? That's cool, man.
Memorabilia.
That's cool. The newest fad is 3D printed food, mainly chocolate, because it's a liquid like a paste that you could squeeze out. It could be printed out, and so you're getting 3D printed stuff made out of chocolate. So
Wait,
I don't know.
maybe I just don't understand the nature of 3D printers. Like, so it's printing something.
Like you want to make a chocolate Death Star.
Okay.
You can print that out.
Yeah, but like print it out of what? Out of chocolate?
Well, with a lot of 3D printers nowadays, it's different stuff. Like they're trying to use chocolate as like the
Okay.
liquid stuff that would print out and harden up, as opposed
Okay.
to like plastic.
Okay, gotcha.
Um,
I just didn't know that was possible. But I
let's see,
guess
we featured-
why not?
A little while ago, we featured some glasses you can wear that will sync up with your computer. So if you're at the store and you see a plate or a vase, in the video they use a vase, and you see a vase that you like, you look at it, you scan it, it prints it.
Ah.
that type of thing, and so
That's
but,
crafty.
But you know,
Literally.
yeah. So there's tons of different stuff. So it's just depending what you're into. But some of the stuff you're gonna be like, oh, that's really cool, and other stuff like printing an unborn child, it's gonna make you say, are you freaking kidding me?
And there he is smiling at us.
The next one,
What do fetuses dream of? It's not an electric sheep.
Nope. Moving on, dude.
What?
I can't even venture down that road. What do fetuses dream of? I'm not. I don't know, man. How do I roll? How do I segue into this next one after you say that, dude? All right.
I'm sorry. I
This
ruined
next
it.
bit.
They dream about what their parents are going to name them.
Okay, there you go.
You know,
Maybe
I
some
heard
need
some
to-
pretty weird parent names. I've heard some pretty weird website names.
I wonder what my parents' names are going to be.
You know, when you're Charlie, you bring up a good point. When you're picking a website name, you got to think careful.
You do.
You got to think careful because if you want to start a company called Penn Island,
Yes.
you need to think about how you can't put spaces in your website name
That is true.
and what you're going to be spelling out. Because you may have an idea to have, pennisland.net. Don't do pennisland.com. Do pennisland.net where you want to go to, you want to find a cool pen, But if you don't, you've been there. If you type that in wrong, it might sound like you're going to like a theme park for something else. Different kind of Disneyland. Different. Easy killer. Easy killer. So what we got here is 10 worst website names. These will definitely make you say, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And at number 10. It is indeed Penn Island. PennIsland.net, where your pen is their business. Look at that. We just plugged this company for them. And,
Yes, we did. We did.
but
I can't believe there's... I can't believe they didn't think of this. Or did they?
they had to.
Funny.
Dude.
Is it
They
like?
had
Is
to.
it funny? Like, hey, come get our pens, but on the way. I don't know.
They had to have. There's only your tagline isn't "Your pen is our business," because look, never mind. Go check out the website. It's pretty funny, but remember, it is PennIsland.net. Do not do .com.
Net. Net.
Number
Just in
9.
case.
Let's go to number 9. Okay, number 9 on the list is they're trying to say this. I do have to give it to them. This isn't a different language. Okay, the website is supposed to be Appetite. This one is one of those that's lost in translation. It is a Finnish recipe site, and they left the last E off of appetite, so it says ape tit. But it is in a different language, so it might say appetite in.
It's appetit. Appetit.
There, okay. Now you're getting a little accent. You're getting a little eccentric, but I can see that.
I'm making excuses.
At number 8. At number 8, we have it's a website for an English tree surgeon, as they like to be called, based in England, and it's the website is actually Les Bocages. Okay, but if you read their website as is, it's Lesbo Cages.
That took me a minute. I had to...
This is why I didn't send it out. I almost sent it out to you guys beforehand, and I thought, you know what? No, man, we need
are priceless, aren't
yeah,
they?
we need to get legit
Is
reactions.
it English? Le Bocage.
Yeah, the
Bocages.
right. It's based out of England, but the name isn't English. I have no. I mean, you got to know, or maybe you're just so excited.
I was looking online for somewhere that gives me a good cage, and all I found was this root company.
Dude, I just can't wait to get like that text or the email or even somebody in person being like, "Hey, I went to that pen site that you guys talked about on your show. That's not a pen site." Coming in at number 7 is a total fluke. It is www.budget.co.ck, and that is that is for all you people outside of the U.S. And it seriously is. It's a budget rental website to.
Just don't read it out.
Wait, what country is that out of?
That's gonna be out of. Is that you? No, that's not UK. I don't know who that's out of.
That'd be
CK.
co.uk.
Czechoslovakia, maybe?
Cook Islands
Oh, Cook Islands.
uses every website out of the Cook Islands uses the domain or the domain co.ck. At least they're kind enough to put a period there.
Well, yeah, because in England it'd be co.uk.
Right. Coming in at number 6 is the Black Hat SEO ebook, but the website is Black Hate Book.
Oh dear.
Right? Yeah, man. This one's. I cannot imagine this one. This one does very well because it's the website for the ebook, Black Hat ebook, but it's coming in with something
and an
totally
SEO
different.
company, they should know. They should know better. SEO company, they should know better.
We got a text in from listener Marky Mark who just joined the show, and welcome to the show, buddy. Thanks for texting in. We want to give you a shout out. He just texted in and said, "Lauren's laugh cracks me up." He loves it.
Thank you.
So thanks for texting in. Let's see. Coming on at number 5 is the website F off. EFF
You can't say that.
off.
What do they do? Or do I want to know?
Effective office environments based in Cincinnati.
They know.
They know. You know.
Anyone with a head for business knows that the customer is always right. Best not to tell them to. Yeah.
All right. So that's number 5. All right, let's come in. These are okay, dude. They're going to get. We're in the top 5. Okay, we're counting down to number 1. Coming in at number 4. I can't even say this one, dude.
www.ladrape.com. It's a British company, manufactures bedspreads,
Drapes.
La
Drape.
Ladrape.com. I did
LA Drape.
L.
LA.
Yeah, you can say La Drape or LA Drape or Lad Rape.
La Drape. Lad Rape. Oh.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's a bed company.
It's a bed company, and that's their name, dude. Or yeah. Okay. Oh man. Okay, this next one coming in is it's meant to be. Okay. This one is it's meant to be Holland's Hit Festival, but it sounds a little bit different. When you're typing in a website name, you can't use the apostrophe. So that S does not get apostrophated, so it's Holland's Hit Festival. It's well, it says a little. It comes out a little different there.
A hit festival from Holland.
What do they do? What do they do in that festival? All right, let's see. Coming in at number 2, we have a. It's a comprehensive database of entertainment industry contacts, is the way that it's described here. And yeah.
WhoRepresents.com.
WhoRepresents.com. Otherwise said, Whore Represents or WhorePresents.com. WhorePresents.com.
Somebody really needs to get some QA on some of these websites, these names.
I don't.
It's like the Southampton Institute of Technology, you know, who.
Do you think about that? Like, you know, you got to think about that. Okay, number 1. Let's get to number 1 here. Obviously, this is going to be the one that does take the cake.
And it's not a new start.
It is not. No, it is not. It is not, man. Which is. Oh, man. How do you even. You don't Google this stuff.
TherapistFinder.com.
When I first read this, the first thing I thought of was Tobias.
I did think of Tobias when I saw this.
I thought
Tobias
of
Fuke.
of Tobias from Arrested Development. Because he would like to be found on the Therapist Finder. Other if you don't read it as thetherapistfinder.com, you might read it as therapistfinder.com.
Counseling for California.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it though. It is the rapist or Therapist Finder. It is Therapist Finder, and it's counseling for California, and it's like, it's your life. Treat it well at therapistfinder.com. Like, oh man, what were they thinking? Penn Island. I almost can't even say Penn Island. I almost actually say with how it looks. Penn Island. Horror Presents. All these other ones, man.
Horror Presents. Oh no, they're all so bad. I don't understand though. People should know. Like, people should know that this is what is. They can't be like. They can't be totally clueless, right? I mean, there's some of these maybe new companies, and they're like, "Wow, our company, like, this is, this website is available. We're so lucky." But there's a reason why some names haven't been taken. You know, there's a reason why. You,
put a dash in there or something, right? You can do that. You can dash it, right?
Yeah. Usually you can do
like an underscore or something.
You can do a dash, yeah. I don't know why they don't think of the. I guess because it's still harder to think about the dash, so they just type it out. But
yeah,
pick a different name.
Who represents, man?
Who thinks of these things, really? You know.
I wonder if they ever get complaints. You know, like at LA Drapes, if they ever get complaints like, "This isn't what I wanted. This isn't why I contacted you."
We were looking for rapists, not therapists.
But they think it's some kind of role play thing where they go there with their therapist. This isn't what I paid for.
What kind of establishment are you running around here?
I found you through Horror Presents. That's it. I'm going back. I'm just gonna shop on Penn Island now. .net.
I wonder if they do their own pens.
Yeah, they do, man.
So you can get like
you can get them custom made. Like, they have wood pens that are
they
carved
have
out
their
of
own
Penn
Penn Island.
Check it out, man. All right, there you go. There's some stuff that will make you say, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Hopefully you enjoyed those and got a good laugh out of those people's mistakes. So if you find anything that makes you say, "Are you freaking kidding me?" be sure to send it our way. We're always looking for great stuff. We'd love to feature it on the show. And you can do that by hitting us up on Facebook or even emailing the show at jdddshow@gmail.com.
The management would like to thank you for listening to this episode of Are You Freaking Kidding Me? And would like to invite you back for next week's exciting episode.
All right, hey, coming up next, we have our picks of the week. If you have a pick of the week that you would love to share with us or even hear be featured on the show, you can send it to us. Lauren, Charlie, you guys got some picks of the week?
I do. Lauren, you have one?
Go for it.
You sure?
I can go after.
Okay. My pick of the week. You know, I must say, I got a couple. Let me just talk about a few things that I've been impressed by this week. We're kind of, if you will, partners with Ustream in a way. They publish our show for free, essentially. They do some advertising, so if you're watching this on your PC, you may get some advertising. If you're on your phone, I don't think you will. But we're in essence kind of like partners anyway. They have this new app that we use for publishing our show on their website, which they'll broadcast live, and then we can also save it to the site. So if you wanted to go back and watch the video show later on, you can. We also do our actual podcast, which we publish to many podcast sites and aggregators, and then the most popular is probably iTunes. But they just recently came out with a new Ustream producer software, which enables us to do some pretty cool stuff for very little. And one of which you can see now, you can do titles, which is pretty cool, I must say. I've been able to utilize that a bit tonight. And with some old gear that I've hashed together around here, we'll be able to do some fun stuff like switch cameras. There's John. There's Lauren. And we've got these like these little oh, you can't see that one, but you can see these little keypads that we have that we're controlling our switch. It's just a basic video switch, so it jumps a little bit, but it works for our purposes as well. It sure beats sliding the camera around, moving it around.
Absolutely.
And it's fun. We're low budget here, but the content is premier. Supreme.
Pretty cool.
So that's one of my picks of the week. This week that has worked well for us. Usually I'll go over an app. My pick of the app. I'm always trying out new apps on the iPhone. I did recently try out a new. It's a Thunderbolt. No, it's Lightning to SD card slot. It's a little white dongle that plugs into your iPad. You can put your SD card. So if you're like a photographer, you take a lot of pictures, or if you even are doing videos with like a GoPro or a regular camera, you can slide this SD card into the SD card reader, plug it into your iPad, copy or import all those movies or pictures into your iPad, view them HD quality, then you can take them into like iMovie, make a movie out of them or something.
Can you
pretty cool.
Can you? Do the iPads have like a jump drive, like USB points in?
With this adapter, you can. So you can get two. There's two kinds of these adapters. One that has a SD card slot, and one that has a USB. So you actually plug your camera right into it, and it will import those
cool.
photos or videos.
So what kind of like a connection is it? What kind of jack? Is it just like a microphone jack?
They have one for the Lightning connector, and they also have one for the older versions that are for the 31-pin connector. The one caveat is the one doesn't work on my iPhone, but it will on an iPad. I don't know why they do that way. Maybe they figure you're going to be viewing them on a bigger screen, and that's the purpose of it. But it's pretty cool. They're like $30. You can get them in anywhere where they sell Apple gear. A little steep still, but they're fun. They're worth it. I was playing around with video and photos, and it was nice to be able to, on the fly, import those into the iPad and view them right there on scene. So that's my pick of the week this week.
Okay, I've got two picks this week. So a couple of weeks ago, or not a couple of weeks ago, it's probably longer than that now. Did I mention? Well, I mentioned one of my favorite artists called Narina Palo, and she's doing a year of. Yeah, I think I mentioned this. How she's doing a year of EPs. So an EP every month, accompanied by a live show, and then at the end of the year, she'll have like one album of fan favorites from all the EPs over all the months. And also a brand new album of new material at the end of the year. So it's kind of like a double album. And the cool thing was, just this week, on Tuesday, she released the first EP. And man, it is a strong start. It's like...
That's good, though. That's what you want to hear, right?
4 out of the 5 songs are pretty good. Like, one of them is just one of the songs, and I wrote about this on my blog, on my music blog that I contribute to. There's 5 songs on each EP, and the first 4, the first one is brilliant. The second 2 they're okay, and then the next one is like not as good. There's only one kind of. It's not even a weak song. It's just not my favorite, you know. But then the last song is called Get to Feel, and it is amazing. Like, I first heard it a couple of, over a month ago. She released a copy of it on SoundCloud, and it's called I Get to Feel, and it was just, she'd done it on her iPhone, you know? She just like recorded it as like an idea, and she said, and I remember her saying when she released the song, the iPhone version, it's like, she was in Germany at the time, and she was so sad that she couldn't even finish the song because she was playing this song and she was just overcome by how sad this song was. But then I heard she released on SoundCloud as well the finished version of it, and man, it is. I love it. I wouldn't have even thought of like the arrangement or the drums on it or the accompaniment on it. But it is an amazing song. It's called Get to Feel, and you should look for it. It's on iTunes. I mean, she's pretty much torch pop, adult pop, mature pop, not like bubblegum pop.
And what's her name again?
Narina Palo. So Nerina. And I think if you look on SoundCloud, there's like both versions are on SoundCloud that you can listen to for free. Which is pretty cool. It's called, the EP is called The Hold Tight. The Hold Tight EP. And it's the first of 12 EPs that will be released throughout the year. And because she's my favorite artist already, I'm so excited to be having this much like content from one of my favorite artists. And in this day and age of digital music and being able to just make your own music and be able to release it pretty much whenever, and know that people are going to buy it, you know, I love how she's kind of taking her music to a new level where she's going to be playing with different styles, different types of music. She's doing something that I don't think has been done by any, well, not as far as I know, any other artist right now. She's doing something different. It's challenging because she has to come up with all this music. Like, that's 5 songs per month, whereas some artists might only release an album every 2 or 3 years, you know?
Sure.
So
and ride that wave for those 2 years.
Yeah,
well,
and keep it up. Keep it up for like a whole year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's sure to be some duds, I'm sure.
Well, and you stay on top of this stuff because you actually cover this on a blog.
Yeah, on it's called Huma Music on WordPress.
And you also have a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, it's called Huma Music Facebook page. So, yeah, check that out as well.
And one more time, what's the name of the song?
It's called Get to Feel.
By Nerina?
Narina. So
Narina. All right, be sure to check that out. Is that your only pick this week?
I had another one, but it doesn't matter. We can go ahead because
Okay.
the other one can wait. It's
All right, I got to be honest. I haven't found anything in the last couple weeks that really stood out to me. So this episode,
Tell us what you learned in your school.
this my school.
In your schooling, yeah. Your training.
what training is this?
My schooling's a little different than most people's schooling. It's more of how to really survive out there in the real world.
Hard knocks.
A little bit. It's it's a different type of schooling. It's not from a university, but hopefully it will pay off. It will pay dividends, and it's a schooling that it's a skill set. Let's say that. It's a trade school.
Penisland.net.
Not .com. How do you spell that again? Let's see, Charlie. To answer your question, let's see. It's a situational schooling.
Yeah.
You get into certain situations. It's about how to get out of those situations. Say if you're forced to the ground.
Exit strategies.
Yes, exit strategies.
Wait, are we talking the same? Can you be any more obscure?
I really can.
It's an import-export business.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
I really don't know what to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't you say
Just
no
answer
more.
the question
Say
then.
no more.
I learned quite a bit.
It may be classified. We just can't talk about it here. Can't talk about it, period,
No, we can talk about it. All right, there you go. Those are our picks of the week. I'll go with my schooling. We can go with my schooling as my pick of the week. And let's see. Let's go ahead and if you have any picks, again, please feel free to share them with us. We would love to hear them. We love hearing from you guys. You guys have great input and feedback. We love hearing your comments on Facebook. You guys come up with some great stuff. So really, if anything stands out to you and you want to make it a pick, be sure to send it to us. At this point in time, we're going to wrap up the show with what did you learn on this week's episode of Hey, Let's Talk About This. Lauren just has this look on his face, like just staring down. Did you take some mental notes?
Some.
Charlie, did you take some notes?
I didn't write down as much as I should have.
Nod your head like you're banging a wall.
I got a few. I got a couple. Nothing big.
It would be cool if this number one was a. I don't know. Some of these names these website names crack me up. Go ahead.
What's the one that makes you laugh the most? Well, okay, let's save that.
Okay.
We'll save that. We'll come
All
back to it.
John could be a super spy or something, for all we know.
No.
He could be going to school to be a super spy.
Not anything like that.
Or either a cheap thug.
It's not cheap, though. Let's see. On this week's episode, I learned that if Lauren drinks a Red Bull, he stays up for 2 days. I learned that Lauren is the type of parent that watches his kid walk from the car into the school. Not because he's worried that he's going to get kidnapped or stolen, but because he gets distracted on the way to the door. Ooh, piece of grass.
There's people who take advantage of that.
That's right. For Charlie, I learned again, I believe this was something that I learned last time, but again, I'm going to put it in here. School drop-off zones are danger zones.
They are danger
For
zones.
you. Danger zone! That's right.
I'm glad, I learned that I'm not alone.
Oh, no, man. I'm learning. I got to say, between this episode and the last one, or the last time we talked about it, I've learned that that's a battlefield.
It's a battlefield.
You got to go in there prepared.
You really do.
And, man, I feel bad for those
At least
those
with
rookies.
pre-thought. Yeah, you can't just
You gotta have an exit plan, right?
You have to have an extra strategy
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely. Always.
Always.
And also, I learned that Charlie has a deadline for taking sleep medication.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Really, I haven't needed it.
And Lauren doesn't ever need sleep
Ever.
medication.
I did learn that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like surprised that you guys like have that issue. Like I normally get to the end of the day and I'm like, thank goodness for my bed.
Made it.
Yeah, here we go.
All right,
Sleep
Lauren,
take over.
what did you learn on this week's episode?
That was one of them. The whole not being alone with the dropping your kids off thing. Yeah, that's kind of like.
That must be comforting.
Do you ever have it when you're dropping your kids off at the pool, or is it just at school?
Oh, do you know what? No, I forgot about this, and we didn't talk about the stadium buddy tonight. But
Stadium buddy.
do you know what? I found this. No, sorry. No, we can talk about that another time. There's not something I learned from tonight, but it's one of those items that I think that everyone needs. Every man needs.
I learned something that we all have in common. The IT crowd.
Yeah.
It wasn't that your pick a couple weeks ago?
It was.
If you guys haven't checked the IT crowd out on Netflix, it really shouldn't even be on Netflix.
Because it's
too
so good.
It's too funny, yeah. But maybe I appreciate the humor more than a lot of people.
It's really not. It's pretty good, man.
Bravo!
People told me like they were like, hey, you got a heads up on this. You know, some of it's kind of risky, and there's been like
I know it's always ones that watch with my wife.
It's
They're
unedited.
the worst ones, yeah.
It is unedited, and they do
Yeah.
say the F word a couple times. Like there's a few times I'm sitting there watching them, and we actually watch it at work in the break room, and it's like, did he just say that? Because I've never really. It's not like blatant. It's almost just like
No,
crossed
some
over.
of them it is. Some of them like. Yeah.
I just maybe haven't seen those. But seriously, it's awesome. Check it out, IT crowd. It's so brilliant, so funny. But yeah, that was a pick a couple weeks ago. I find that when we connect on a TV show,
Yes.
I have to make it my pick that week. Because if I hold off,
It'll get taken.
it gets taken.
Oh, I learned about being human as well.
Oh
Someone
yeah,
else's-
the American one.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie. What else did you learn?
You know, the people should really consider their website names before they put them out there. Now, luckily for me, I think all of my webpage are
Sheesh.
good. They're just super long. That's all.
And if you can come up with your own and send them to the site.
Yeah. If you can come up with your own worst website names or most creative names, we would love to hear those.
I did learn that they make a gun box, a gun safe that's actually good looking, aesthetically pleasing.
And it seems to be pretty functional.
Very functional.
What,
I think I should maybe reconsider.
What was your favorite worst website name?
Dude, they're all pretty good. A couple of them took me a minute. I had to see them in writing to.
Yeah.
Like the Holland
I mean,
one?
the Holland Festival. Oh man. The Holland Shishi Festival.
Shawanti.
The Hope. Or presents. The Rapist Finder. Oh man, those are too funny. I'll be laughing at those tomorrow.
Good, dude.
You'll think about them at inappropriate times, won't you?
Let's hear your best Moss impression.
I can't do Moss impression.
There was
Yeah.
earlier he was talking and I heard Moss.
Yeah.
There was something that you were going off. You were ranting about something and I was like, dude, that just sounds like Moss.
Oh no, I can't do it.
He's doing
You're not think. No, I can't do it. You're not thinking. No.
do impersonations from the IT crowd. How about can you do Roy?
No, I can't. No, I can't do Roy. No, it's only this Irish accent. I can't do. I can do an Irish accent, but I can't do
Roy.
We
were talking about that a few weeks ago.
Mars. Wait, no, I can't. I'm not gonna commit to it.
Now you know how I feel whenever you're like, John, do an English accent. It's like, I can't. I'm not. Nope.
But no, that's different. That's not like that. It could be any English accent, but committing to an actual one that someone else does and puts on for a show.
Understandable. You know, but it's different. Like
you said, you were from Iran.
That was the best episode.
A man.
David mentioned that, and it didn't make any sense until I watched that episode.
That's a good episode. All right, hey, there you go. That is what we learned on this week's episode of Hey, Let's Talk About This. Be sure to tune in to later episodes. Hey, and if you learned something crazy or fun, seriously, we really want you guys to participate in the show and join us. So if you're listening to the podcast, still text in. The text number is 1-530-454-5828. Again, it is 1-530-454-5828. And text in, let us know what you learned on this episode of Hey, Let's Talk About This. We want to thank those for participating. We want to thank you for listening and checking out the show. We really hope you enjoyed it. We want to thank you whether you listen live, whether you are listening to the podcast, whether you're watching it on YouTube, or even if you're listening by the radio by some miracle. We want to thank you for checking out this episode of Hey, Let's Talk About This. And in closing, we want to dedicate this episode to our first ever listener, Mike the Pilot. Mike is going through a hard time right now, and we want to dedicate this episode and let him know that we're thinking of him and thank him for always tuning into the show and always supporting us and helping us. And we want to let him know that we're thinking of him. So with that being said, again, thank you to all who've listened to the show and who've all supported us. And as always, we wish you were here.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil?